Family histories often harbor episodes shrouded in pain, ones that both ancestors and descendants might choose to veil rather than revisit. While honoring the hardship endured, our focus rests not on sorrows past but on the enduring inheritance they handed down, a vibrant culture woven from many storied threads. Following the conquest, colonists and clergy established new power centers amidst Tenochtitlan's ruins. Among them, a diverse array of individuals, each with their unique backgrounds and stories, ventured inland. Seeking riches, redemption, or refuge, they tread narrow mountain paths, entering a realm of thin air and uncertainty. Many met fates lost to history, while others seeded diasporas that stretched across frontiers, carrying with them hopes for safety, opportunity, and a respite from a world irrevocably altered. From these pathways, a cultural mosaic emerged, woven from threads of ambition, defiance, and resilience, central themes that define the spirit of this era. Northward, from the haunting remnants of ancient pyramids, spirits yearning for freedom embarked on journeys of exodus and exile. They ventured into uncharted territories, carrying with them the legacies of their past. Both venerated and cursed, their stories, woven into the fabric of history, pose a question: what tales do these paths hold, leading into lands where identities merged and new complexities arose? At dawn, over the remnants of Tenochtitlan, the faint sounds of life echoed, mingling with the persistent scent of bygone tragedies. Soldiers with haunted gazes roamed the ghostly streets, passing priests and soot-covered children, each lost in a world stripped of its former glory. In the vacuum left by vanished civilizations, new cultures surged in, bringing foreign architectures and philosophies, striving to forge meaning from the ashes of catastrophe. History shows us that nature abhors a vacuum. Thus, the void left by the fallen empire became a fertile ground for new beginnings, marking a significant transition in the region's historical narrative. Survivors from the north, seeking solace amid the shadows of palaces and temples, intertwined their destinies with those of the conquerors. From the ruins, a new society began to emerge, a blend of the old and the new, the conqueror and the conquered. These early colonial days were a fabric of varied experiences, each reflecting the complexities of a society in transition from ancient traditions to colonial influences. Some walked through the remains of greatness, carrying the burdens of their era. They left behind a stage of empires, allowing time to nurture a new synthesis. Generations later, their descendants, echoing the legacy of their forebears, found themselves intertwined in the rhythms of a history only partially grasped. Yet, among them lived the true inheritors of this legacy, unnoticed, continuing their journey through landscapes rich with mythic echoes. The history of these times, a tapestry woven with threads of triumph and tragedy, mirrors our own collective journey through epochs of change and challenge. It speaks of civilizations clashing, of societies fractured, and identities remade. This narrative does not shy away from these truths but seeks to understand them in their full complexity. Life, with its relentless resilience, continued to weave its patterns, even as the fabric of society was torn by injustice and sorrow. Following these tumultuous times, the landscape saw the rise of new structures, both in physical form and cultural essence. These developments marked a pivotal shift in the cultural evolution of the region. They grew from a soil steeped in the blood and ashes of a Holocaust, a testament to the unyielding spirit of those who survived. This period of reconstruction and rebirth saw the blending of cultures, a process fraught with both. As the capital city rose, phoenix-like, from the ruins of Tenochtitlan, it became a magnet for countless souls. These newcomers, each with their own hopes and dreams, added to the city's burgeoning energy and renewed spirit. They came in search of opportunity, drawn by the promises of a new world. But this influx brought with it the need for labor, pulling in craftsmen and peasants from the surrounding lands. Together, these diverse groups formed the lifeblood of the nascent colony, weaving a complex social tapestry marked by both triumph and tragedy. Cortés, returning to the ruins of the once magnificent city, found a landscape transformed by violence and disease. The once thriving metropolis was now a desolate tableau of suffering and loss. This was a world torn apart by war, its people struggling to survive amid the ruins of their former glory. Yet, amidst this devastation, the seeds of a new era were being sown, one that would shape the destiny of Mexico for centuries to come. In this era of upheaval, the city's native lords, seeking to quell the devastation, extended a peace offering of their riches to Cortés. Yet, these overtures fell short against the backdrop of Cortés' ambitions. The last emperor, Cuauhtémoc, confronted a harrowing end, a testament to his steadfastness amidst the turmoil. His defiance, even in the face of torture and eventual execution, marked a poignant chapter in the narrative of conquest. The actions of both Cortés and Cuauhtémoc have been subject to extensive debate, their legacies embodying the complexities of conquest and resistance. These figures, emblematic of their respective worlds, left behind a contentious and multifaceted history, reflecting the profound transformations of this era. In the new capital, built upon the graves of the Aztec Empire, Cortés established his rule. The old temples burned, their ashes mingling with the dreams of those who had aided the conquest. These auxiliaries, once hopeful for a share in the new order, found themselves relegated to the margins of society. Yet, they adapted, their faiths and cultures merging into a new syncretic form, a testament to their resilience and their capacity to endure. As the years passed, the cycle of history continued its inexorable march. The fall of Tenochtitlan marked not just the end of an empire, but the beginning of a new chapter in the story of humanity. Cortés's conquests set in motion a series of events that would resonate across the globe, forever altering the course of history. In the shadow of these monumental changes, the descendants of both conquerors and conquered sought to forge their own identities. The elite Creoles, born and raised in the colonies, emerged as pivotal figures, asserting their distinct identity. Their actions, challenging the established order, underscored the shifting dynamics of power and culture in the colonies. Yet, as they rose, reactionary forces in Spain demanded ever more stringent displays of fealty and piety. Far from the centers of power, in the distant haciendas worked by native labor, priests intensified their efforts to eradicate indigenous beliefs. Under the oppressive gaze of their conquerors, the subjugated people held tightly to their ancient rites, a beacon of resilience and hope in a landscape marred by subjugation, their faith undimmed by the raids and burnings of their sacred places. As the capital of New Spain solidified its foundations, the call of the untamed lands to the north grew stronger for those weary of the turmoil left in the wake of conquest. Beyond the grasp of civil authority, these lands offered a refuge for those seeking a respite from the cultural collisions of their homeland. Emissaries of the church and crown ventured out, too, seeking to extend their influence over these distant realms, but many paths remained wild, providing sanctuary for those fleeing from the constraints of society. From the burgeoning city of Mexico, a steady stream of migrants ventured into these unknown lands, drawn by the promise of freedom and opportunity. Some found refuge in the emerging mining communities in the Sierra Highlands, while others ventured further into the arid expanses of the Sonoran Desert or the vast grasslands, home to nomadic tribes. As time passed, these once distant outposts were gradually drawn into the orbit of New Spain, the ever-expanding reach of colonial power bringing these frontiers within its fold. Our story, then, follows these early threads of cultural diffusion, tracing the journeys of those who left the crumbling center to remake their lives on the margins. They wove themselves into the fabric of remote outposts, places beyond easy governance but still under the watchful eye of an empire. In these shifting frontiers, old ways mingled with new, as people adapted to the changing landscapes of their world. Through mountain passes and sun-bleached plains, they journeyed, some in search of stability in lands untouched by the sword or the scroll. In the high deserts, a land where ancient spirits are said to linger, a vivid fusion of indigenous and colonial cultures emerged, blending traditions and beliefs. This was a land of contradictions, where history and future intersected, giving birth to a new chapter in the story of a people. Beyond the reach of history's firm grasp, in the shadowed corners of forgotten missions and along roads that wound through the past toward an uncertain future, the seeds of our central mystery were sown. Here, in a land of old spirits and new dreams, the threads of our story intertwine, leading us on a journey through time and memory. In the spaces between history's spoken words and the silence of forgotten eras, we find the answers we seek. As we delve deeper into the past, we uncover the hidden narratives of those who walked these paths before us, their stories a guide to understanding the complexities of our own heritage. As our narrative weaves through the tapestries of time and culture, it remains anchored to a singular quest, the tracing of a specific family line. Yet, in this pursuit, we inadvertently unravel the threads of a much grander story, one that encapsulates the essence of all Mestizo lineages. These paths, crisscrossing through the annals of history, reflect a shared journey of adaptation, resilience, and transformation. Our family, a microcosm of the broader Mestizo experience, stands as a testament to the confluence of worlds. In their saga, we find the echoes of countless others who navigated the turbulent waters of cultural amalgamation. Their footsteps, imprinted upon the sands of time, guide us through the labyrinth of the past, revealing the intricate patterns of heritage and identity that define the Mestizo legacy. As we conclude this portion of our exploration, we stand at a crossroads in both time and space. The narrative thus far has been a tapestry woven from the threads of Mexico's ancient civilizations, tracing the evolution of a family line through epochs that have shaped the very soul of the nation. We have witnessed the rise and fall of great empires, the melding of indigenous cultures, and the very inception of a new identity that is as complex as it is rich. Each step of this journey has brought us closer not only to understanding the history of Mexico but also to unveiling the lineage of a family that mirrors this intricate history. As we prepare to embark on the next leg, our focus shifts to a physical journey, a migration that mirrors the historical journey we have been tracing. From the heart of central Mexico, our path will lead us towards Allende, Coahuila. This journey is not just a geographic shift but a temporal one as well, moving us closer to the time when this family's lineage first emerges in recorded history. In this journey, we are not just tracing a family's history, we are connecting with the very essence of what it means to be part of this land and its legacy. We will traverse the landscapes of Mexico, stopping along the way at places where the family's bloodline likely lingered before reaching Allende. These stops are not mere waypoints but chapters in their own right, each locale holding stories that have contributed to the family's saga. As we travel, we will continue to weave the rich cultural and historical backdrop of Mexico, exploring how the family's journey is intertwined with the larger narrative of the nation. As this chapter concludes, we recognize the journey ahead. Future sections will delve deeper into personal narratives, uncovering how these historical events shaped individual lives and identities. The story of our family is but one thread in the intricate weave of Mexico's rich history. Their experiences, distinct yet universally touching, provide insight into the collective spirit of a people shaped by the melding of diverse heritages. In the chapters to come, we shall continue to trace this lineage, delving deeper into the personal narratives that illuminate the broader strokes of history. Through their eyes, we will witness the unfolding of events that shaped a nation, and in their stories, we find the reflection of our own shared humanity. Thus, we journey forward, mindful of the past that shapes us and hopeful for the future it foretells. In the lineage of our family, we find not only the roots of our own identity but also the seeds of understanding for the vast, vibrant tapestry that is the Mestizo heritage. Thank you so much for listening to this Family Tree Saga. We know your time is precious. Look for more at familytreesagas.com.